strength, will, and desire, building a future for me and you. Let's get inspired, shine a spotlight on CUSW. Hello, and welcome to the CUSW Spotlight Podcast, brought to you by the Canadian Union of Skilled Workers, established in 1999. CUSW has been empowering its members and shaping the future of skilled trades for over 25 years. In this podcast, we shine a spotlight on the people, stories, and values that make CUSW a strong and dynamic community. It's an exciting time to be part of this union, and we're here to celebrate the journey, achievements, and dedication of skilled workers. So turn up the volume and let's get started. Here's your host for the CUSW Spotlight Podcast, Mr. Dan Plexman.
Hello, everyone, and thanks for joining us on the CUSW Spotlight Podcast. Today, we're very, very fortunate to have one of our members who's actually stepped up, put their hand up and said, hey, I want to be on the podcast. And we're very, very proud and honored to have our good friend, Pauline Cranston, join the show today.
Hi, how are you today?
Very good. For our fellow CUSW members at home watching the show, for other people who tuned in, can you tell us a little bit about Pauline Cranston and how do you fit into the CUSW family?
For sure. I've been a part of the Canadian Union Skilled Workers family since 2015. I call it a family because that's how it makes me feel as a member of this organization. I started in 2017 with the social committee, but I'm going to track back to what I presently do and we'll work our way that way. So in 2020, I moved to the Northeast zone and I noticed that there was need for some help, as people said that there was no union up here. They needed better guidance. So I stepped up and I became the unit chair. In the Northeast, we currently do unit socials, golf tournaments, Santa's Village. We go to Science North. We hold kids' Christmas parties. We also get into the community aspect as well. We had a member reach out to us last year asking if there was any funds available to help his son in a wheelchair with a park that they were looking for funding for, so his son could actually be a kid and be a part of the community. So our unit decided to give funds for the park so they can enjoy the park like every other child should be able to.
Accessibility.
Accessibility. And it was really important to us to help that member out. We also do free swims and skates throughout the Northeast in North Bay, Timmins, Sudbury, Kirkland Lake. We're always looking at different areas so we can help members in all our areas, as we're a very big community. And we also do food drives and donate to charities like the Children's Hospital. Those are just a few that we've been doing over the last 4 years. And we're looking at building capacity in our union, in our unit up in the Northeast. Going into my...
Sorry. I'm just kind of shocked. I was expecting a little bit of a shorter answer, and you're not even done yet. I can tell you have so much on your plate. It's really impressive.
I'll do it alphabetically so that it's easier for me to explain. First off is the National Communications Committee. I've been on that since 2020 as well. My goal is to bring communication back in and be more present. So we have a quarterly newsletter that we do. It has the units update and the national committee updates, and we're going to start doing member spotlights. So we are working on that. And then we also have the calendar where we actually take pictures from our members personally. So whether you decide that you took a picture of a cool moment at work or you were at a social event and you want to see it in the calendar, we always open it up to the floor every September. And then by end of October, beginning of November, myself and the only person on the communications committee is Linda and I. So we sit down and we put this calendar together and we send it out to every member for the beginning of the year. And then we actually got in the last couple of months a cool new calendar on the website, which I'm excited for because now you can see what our union is actually doing, whether it's units, national, or even the union as a whole. We do lots of different opportunities that people may not know about and want to participate in. But now you can go to the calendar and actually see whether it's training. There's so much on that calendar that we do, and it's a great tool for any member that wants to get involved. And then my next committee I'm on, I know that's not a word, but I like to call it the funnest because it appeals to me and my family and the members' family. It's called the National Social Committee. I've been on that committee the longest. I've been on it since 2017. And we started out small with just one event, and it was Canada's Wonderland.
What can be funner than that?
I know, right? Getting
Yeah.
all the kids together. And then for our core group, we do fishing derby every single year, the weekend after Father's Day. And then in conjunction with the Health and Safety Conference, we do a dinner and dance. That dinner and dance only started 3 years ago, and we had 70 people at it the first year. And last year, we actually had to turn families away, unfortunately, because we didn't have enough room in the physical building to hold the amount of people that wanted to participate, which was amazing to see. Seeing the participation grow is what makes my why. My purpose in the union makes me feel full when I see that we're starting out small and we're expanding the participation, not with just the member, the families. Like when we go to the dinner and dance, my little guy's been there. Well, he's 3 this year, so this will be his 3rd year because he went when he was a little bitty and has been going since. Same with my daughter. She was a month old at the last one, so she'll be just over a year when we go to this one. And the families that we have met along the way, they're returning, and my little guy gets to be a part of the family as well. It's not just me and the family, it's the whole family.
Yeah. Didn't we have a great time last year at the costume party? I'm pretty sure your son was dressed up as a dinosaur, maybe a little Tyrannosaurus Rex, I think. But
that was his first year. So
okay.
first year we did Jurassic Park.
Okay.
The second year, my little guy is obsessed with Mickey Mouse. Like we literally took a trip to Disney World this year just because I don't want to see that spark go. So we took him to Disneyland. I was Daisy, my husband was Donald, and our little girl was Minnie, and he was Mickey. Unfortunately, we didn't win the costume contest, but there was some pretty great costumes there. So we're going to have to step up our game to see if we can win this year.
I know. I think Mickey and Minnie were trumped by Luigi and Mario, maybe.
And the Minions. Don't forget the Minions.
And the Minions. Yeah, that's right.
We had some pretty cute Minions there as well. So
it was heavy duty competition among those kids. That's for sure.
Yes. And honestly, like it's the memories that my kids are making and the members' kids that are making that makes the social committee so important to our union. And then lastly, in our big scope of what we do now, from going from one event in 2017 to 4 events in 2025, we do a Christmas party at the zoo. So Santa comes, we take pictures, maybe Santa even brings a little gift or two for the kids that show up, and then they get to enjoy the zoo after, which you wouldn't think that you would go to the zoo in the winter, but I absolutely love going to the zoo in the winter. The animals are active. Knock on wood, it has never been that cold. It's always been in like the low minuses, like -1, -2. The one year we had +10. So
Wow.
really, these events that the social committee holds are very good events that people should start looking and checking out. So that's the next committee that I'm a part of. And that's all we do for that in a year.
How do you fit it all in?
A lot of work. Even though I have a young family, my family is my why, and I want to leave a legacy behind. So my way of looking at it is I have support from my mom, my husband. When I say, hey guys, I got to go do this, they're like, how can we help? For example, my mom and my sister for the dinner and dance every single year helps the kids in the playroom or in the daycare room. They come every single year and they babysit for us for free. So I can't say no to that. My husband, he is very supportive of my career just as much as I am as his. Even today, while we're doing this podcast, he's out at the park with the kiddos, so I'm able to participate and have my mind focused on my job, on my union, and that's just how we do it. Like it's family that really helps me with this career choice that I want of having all these extras on my plate.
It's true. In the process of being the host for this podcast, I've interviewed quite a few different people so far, and I really noticed when we're setting the pre-recording up and then the recording for the show, we have little rules for the guests where you got to have the house quiet, close your windows, got to have the proper lighting, this and that. And obviously keeping the house quiet when you have kids and pets and animals, it's hard. And there's always someone in the background taking care of the member who's on the screen. We always need someone to help us out. And it's okay to accept that help. That's
exactly. And like I said, even though I'm a young family, we still manage and we still make everything happen. Like when I say, hey, I want to go to this conference, or hey, we got this, and this to do. It's whether it's my mom, my husband, my uncle, my sister, my brother, they're all there to help support me in what I want to do. Right. So
Yep.
it's very appreciative. And when they listen to the podcast, they might have a little smile on their face because I've given them the credit that they're long overdue. So
For sure. And you're a representation of them and they're feeling, they feel the pride.
exactly. That's one thing I love about our union. It doesn't just stop with family. It literally I can extend it to make sure that I'm focused and I'm just happy and appreciative of my family.
Yeah. I'm going to backtrack a little bit.
Yeah.
When we first started off the show, I asked you my typical question that I ask everybody: how do you fit in the CUSW family? You answered in a different way that I was expecting. I was kind of expecting you to say, oh, I'm a 309 electrician. I do this, I do that. Talk about the tools, talk about that Pauline Cranston does when she's on the job site. You didn't really touch into that. You talked about all the social aspects of CUSW. You talked about the form and functions and the inner workings of how CUSW works and your community. And obviously that's what CUSW all is. And you talked about the unit. There's a lot of us who are members of CUSW, and especially the ones who aren't members who are listening to this podcast are thinking that the unit is pertaining to what happens on the job site. Can you kind of clarify a little bit of that for us?
For sure. There is a difference between unit and workplace. They're basically separated at this point. At our last convention, we took out everything due to workplace out of the unit because your workplace and your unit are separate. Your unit's more of your like fun, getting together with your family, your kids, and other members and their kids. And your workplace, well, it's your workplace because our workplaces are not just Hydro One, OPG, Bruce Power. We have over 80 contracts. So if we brought one represented group to the table at a unit meeting, we're leaving everybody else behind. So that's where workplace meetings come into play versus our units.
Okay, so if I'm following this straight, you can have CUSW members who are working for different contractors and still be in the same unit.
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah, like for example, up in the Northeast, I think we've got 3 or 4 different contracts. I've been on mat leave since September, so we could actually have even more up there now because we are growing very rapidly as a union. So for example, we had a unit meeting at our last quarter, and we actually had 3 different workplace groups represented at that unit meeting. Did we speak about the workplace issues? Maybe during the social where it's not in the meeting, where they're having their food. They are having it casually, like talking about what they do differently in their work groups. But at the unit meeting, no, we talk about like our budget, our finances, what's going on within the CUSW world. And it's basically our union's business, not the workplace business.
Okay. Thanks for the clarification. I really appreciate that.
No problem.
Yeah. Where do we go from here? Uh,
So I still have two more things that I'm a part of at the national level. One's the National Tradeswomen Committee. There's only about 5% of females in our union, and I've been on the job site maybe 10, maybe 11 times with another female. So it's nice to have a group that we can connect other females with, so then it doesn't feel so lonely. I personally don't feel lonely. I'm a very social person, as you can hear from my little bio here, that I can talk to anybody, anywhere, and I'll probably talk your ear off if you let me. So
yeah.
it just gives other females that connection. But we also have partnered with the Interval House of Hamilton. The Interval House of Hamilton has a training program called PART, Prevention Action Response Training. And this training is to help with gender-based violence in the workplace. So our goal is not to say um, you need to change. It's bringing awareness to where you sit on this meter. And even if we can just move you one dial over in understanding on gender-based violence, it's an epidemic. And to be able to educate males and females on the topic is greatly important, in my opinion, because we have a lot of members that are together as female and male, but it's also in the workplace that even if you're not together, there is a lot of gender-based violence that can happen in the workplace, not just in CSW, but within the world.
Yeah.
And it's something that we brought to the union, and we have a full male course, so males can feel more comfortable in this topic without having other females that they or counterparts that they work with, because they might be able to share stories without having the judgment of their fellow members. We also have that with the females as well. And one day our goal is to have both male and female in the room having this discussion.
Yeah, I've taken the part training and it opened my eyes, especially with my experience being a construction worker. I've been in the industry for well over 30 years. And what I've experienced, my first construction job at 17 compared to how things are working now, things have changed a lot. And sometimes you think you're online with how the world is changing. And then you take a course and you realize, oh, I have a lot of changing to do here. I'm still far behind here. I'm like 10 years behind the scenes here. And that training really helped me realize that there's some stuff I could work on myself, even just on how I look at situations.
And then with the Interval House of Hamilton, so they're a nonprofit organization that has a house in Hamilton. That's why it's called the Interval House of Hamilton. They take women, females, small children out of domestic violence situations. And they might be just leaving with the clothes on their back and maybe a teddy bear if the kids are lucky because they're just trying to get out alive. We do a gala every single year. This will be our third year doing it. And last year we raised 20,000, and our goal is to get to 20,000 or at least get past 20,000.
Wow, what an accomplishment. Impressive.
So yeah, so that's what I do with the tradeswomen committee. And then before I went on mat leave, I was the lead of the unit capacity building committee. So for about a year, I worked on researching, getting a training program into place for the units so the units can understand better on how they need to function, how to help them with participation, and get a better understanding what a unit actually does. So this past year, we've been rolling it out to the units, and I personally had to take it, even though I helped create it. It actually gave my executive a really good eye opener of we thought we were doing really bad, but when you put it in this over the 2-day course, we're actually doing very well. So it was a good eye opener, and I'm looking forward to seeing where the UCBC, as we call it, or the Unit Capacity Building Committee training gets to.
Yeah, it almost seems like the unit is focused on the union and the capacity building of the union, obviously, but it seems because of this whole process, it spills out into the workforce. It seems like a great design.
Yeah, so like your workplace obviously has your health and safety rep, your stewards. Those health and safety reps and stewards have plenty of access to the union and the knowledge that the union has. And we do use those people to help spread the word within the workplace on what's going on in the unit.
Yeah. It's complicated when you're on the outside looking in, I think. But once you jump in and say, hey, I'm going to be part of this, it starts just kind of falling into place, and you realize, oh, this is why it has to happen this way. It's refreshing. It is. I love it.
And because you said I didn't start my introduction off with what I do, I'm actually a 309A electrician. I've been with Hydro One since 2016. April Fool's Day, actually.
Yeah.
Kind of funny. Kind of ironic it was on April Fool's Day, but April 1st was when I started with Hydro One on a 3-week call.
Right. I honestly don't know how old you are, but you seem very young to have such an abundance, such a packed life, and a lot of experience behind you. How did you get into the electrical trade right from the beginning? How did that start off?
It started off when I was in grade 9. I did the introduction to tech program, which is a really good program. I would recommend any high school student to take it. So I did 4 different things. Automotive was not my thing. You got too greasy. The computer programming, I can't sit still. So I was like, yeah, that's not what I want to do. And then manufacturing, I didn't like the smell of the welding. So that was out. And then I found the construction stream of it. So it was really cool. I actually made myself, and I still have it to this day. It hangs downstairs. It is called a penny hockey board. So it was just this little board with little pegs in it. And you can use like a dime and you can flick it and you play. It's like air hockey, but it's a board that I made. And that's kind of where I sparked my interest. And then in grade 10, I did a night course that was offered through the school, through Fleming College, for any high school student to do, and it was a electrical techniques program. So I ended up getting my first year of electrical techniques through high school. And then I had a teacher named Mr. Ayers. And he said, Pauline, get a trade. He's like, I don't care what trade you get. By the time you're 22, you'll have that ticket. And then you can go back to school, because most people at your age have no idea what they want to do, and they'll go course hopping. So they'll start with one course. I don't like this, go to the next, and you'll be so far into debt that you don't know what you want to do.
With no actual ticket in your hand.
With no diploma, no degree, I guess you'd call it, as a university student.
Yep.
So that's what I did. And I really took to electrical. So I did the SHSM program, which is the Specialist High Skills Major in Electrical. I did the which is the Ontario Youth Apprenticeship Program, and I graduated as an Ontario Scholar. So in my last 2 years of high school, so my grade 11, I worked at a electrical outfit called Westburn Ready, where I learned everything, any electrical part that you needed, I knew about before going into grade 12, because I actually worked through my summer there as well. They kept me on after I showed my passion. And they're like, well, why don't you stay on? And then when I started in grade 12, I started with a company called Evergreen Electric. They did from solar panels to custom built homes. Back then, which was 10 years ago, 12 years ago now, I was 18 at the time. I worked on a multi-million-dollar cottage in the Muskokas. And that was one of the coolest things, because it was all new technology back then. So like when you're talking about like lights that come on in the room, well, that's normal nowadays. But back then that was kind of high tech for our era. So I got to work on that. I got to work on solar panels. But the cool thing is I did that all in high school. And unfortunately, that company had 5 other general laborers, as they would like to call them, there waiting to get in line for their ticket. So they actually offered me a job. They're like, we can give you an apprenticeship in 5 years, because you're now the 5th in line. And I was like, I'm not accepting that, because I'm not a person to take no for an answer some days. So I went to a place called VCCS. It's a employment agency in my hometown, and we worked together, and I got a job at Brock Machinery and Automation. So I graduated on the Thursday, and the candidate day was on the Sunday, and I started July 2nd at that job. And I haven't not worked since. So,
wow, what a turnaround. And especially for a construction worker to be working straight for 10 years on a temporary job.
Yeah, that's the cool thing about our union. When I did come into the union, I did have a job with another contractor, and it was a 6-month contract, and it was a 6-month contract. And then this contract was a 3-week contract, and I'll be there 10 years next year.
Yeah, I've heard that so many times where a 3-week job turns into 30 years.
Yes,
And it's not
I've
even a
worked with a
joke.
lot of those guys.
Yeah, not even a joke. It's the actual truth. Yeah. Um, Talking about your experience starting off in the electrical trade so early in high school, you've reminded me of a conversation we had before about a teacher that you had. It was kind of interesting. I remember that part.
Yes, so I don't know what they call it nowadays, but when I was in high school, you had academic and applied and Power Pack. So Power Pack, I'm going to call them the super smart kids that are doing basically a university degree within their 4 years of high school. Then you have academic, which is the university route now, and then you had applied, which was your college route. Well, I'm not going to say I'm not dumb by any means, but I'm not book smart as I am hand smart, because there's lots of people that are book smart but not mechanically inclined, and there's lots of people that are mechanically inclined and not so well with books. And that's kind of where I fell in. And I had a teacher that got injured, and this new teacher came in halfway through the year. And he was a power pack teacher. So he was like the super smart kids. And he turned to us one day, because I don't actually remember why he turned around one day and told us this, but he basically called us all lowlifes, and that would be flipping burgers for the rest of our lives. And the worst thing
Wow.
is you're now making fun of people that do that for a living, which is a skilled trade, by the way.
Yeah,
And
that's a Red Seal apprenticeship trade program being a
correct,
chef.
correct. And then you
Wow.
had people like me that were in the SHISM program and OYAP, and I graduated as an Ontario scholar. So that means I'm not as dumb as he thought we were. And I actually, Mr. Airsy, getting back to him, he called me in after I got my license and was like, "Can you come talk to these kids about the trades?" And at that time, I was working with a organization that did that. And so I went in as a keynote speaker, and I was talking to them, and I seen the guy in the hallway, and I pulled out my card that said I was an electrician. And I made it a point to let him know that I didn't just go and flip burgers for a living. And it's the fact that he was diminishing people that are now welders, plumbers, electricians, construction workers. Yes, we are all blue collared, but blue collar's the new white collar, in my opinion.
I agree. Especially nowadays, a lot of the average construction workers in Canada are actually making more than the average lawyer in Canada. And
Exactly.
and that's a hard fact.
Hmm.
So if people want to compare jobs by wages and all the other stuff, construction workers are right up there as well.
I'm
Yeah.
pretty sure most of them are on that sunshine list that gets posted every year.
Yeah, exactly. So it's nothing to scoff at, that's for sure. And it's just a very disrespectful way to look at the world when you're comparing people and pigeonholing people and you're with your own views.
Exactly. And fun fact is most of our trade actually, like most apprentices are 28 years old coming into a trade because they went to that university route and they couldn't find a job in whatever degree that they went and got. And they're turning to the trades to make money to be able to pay off that OSAP.
Oh yeah. I I've worked with lots and lots of construction guys who are trying to pay off their university debts. Yeah. And
So
it's just
luckily for me, I didn't have that.
yeah, that's great. Uh what do you feel is on the horizon for you and with CUSW?
I always joke with I'm going to be the first female chairperson, but that's probably not going to be likely because there'll be older females that are going to probably get there before me because I'm only 31. And not that I don't have the smarts, I don't have the life experience that our chairperson has, and nor will I ever because he is absolutely great at what he does. But I'd like to think that I'd be the chairperson one day. But for now, I would just like to stick with what I do best, and that's doing the internals of the union, making sure that things are operating properly and make sure that we're doing the best for our membership.
Yeah, I think that's the general consensus of all those individual members of the CUSW, especially the ones who are participating in the form and functions of the union and building things from the back end. That's how we look at things. We're always going forward, and to be in a union that doesn't have a president, we have a chairperson. That speaks loudly for me, especially. A lot of people don't actually understand the difference between a chairperson and a president. So for us to make that distinction as a union and say, hey, we don't operate from the top down, we operate from the bottom up, because everybody is equal.
And everybody has a voice too, right? Like,
yeah,
if you want to see change, speak up, participate, be a part. Because if you sit in the back and just complain all the time, you're not making the difference. You're a part of the problem, not the solution.
Yeah. Maybe I can talk about this from myself too. Like, I've been a member of CUSW for 20 years. With any relationship with any entity, any person, family, whatever, things aren't always smooth. And sometimes some experiences just aren't the best. And it's usually just a personality issue. And you can't judge a union by how individuals are operating themselves. And when you can get past that and say, okay, maybe this person here isn't in line with me exactly, but the union still is, and I'm going to participate. I'm going to put forth an effort. Lots of times, any of those negative feelings that I was having, they've all diminished themselves by taking part in the form and functions of the union, participating, and raising my hand and saying, hey, I don't like this, or hey, I really do like this. Let's carry on. Or I don't understand this. Can someone tell me? And it's really encouraging. I love it.
Speaking on that, and personally for me, there's a program that our union has, and it's called Homewood Health. And so my dad, unfortunately, he passed away 7 years ago. And I was in a bad spot, and I was missing work a lot. And because I just didn't know how to function without my rock. I was a daddy's girl. So that just explains it all right there. And somebody reached out to me from the union saying, hey, we have a program called Homewood Health. I think you could benefit from this. And to this day, which is 7 years later, I still talk to the same therapist. And that was because of our union. Our union has best doctor, we have therapists, we have access to a different type of lawyers, and it's all through the Homewood Health program. And that's one thing that is not widely known in our union, is these support systems that we actually have within the union.
Oh, for sure. Having the support systems in place with Homewood Health, like you mentioned, myself, I can totally attest to that. Being seriously injured in a workplace accident like 17 years ago, I was a member of CUSW on the tools. And without having these systems and these support networks in place, I might not be here. And that is the actual truth. So for CUSW and the members to have the insight to put these things in place for us, it's just amazing.
Yeah, and honestly, like, it's the founding members, they're the ones that had this vision, and we're now just trying to execute it, right? So having these things for members and families and building the capacity within the union. I'm hoping that this was the vision that they were looking for, and we're trying to carry out.
Honestly, I don't think they had the capacity to see as far ahead as things are now, because things are so good and it just keeps on changing for the better. We keep on realigning our values. We keep on assessing ourselves as a union and looking at ourselves like a fly on the wall from the third person perspective, saying, okay, we did this way last year. Should we do it again the same way, or can we do it a better way? And we talk about it, we assess it, we diagnose it, and we treat it. Like, that's just how we are. It's so refreshing to be a part of a progressive union.
And it's nice because it's not just one person saying, they shall do this. It's a group of us. And we, like I said, the national committees, there's so many now. We've grown over the last 10 years. And it used to be the running joke, and Linda and I, we're a part of the communications and social committee. We were always like, yeah, we're the best ran ones because there's only two of us, but
Yeah.
all three of us with Chris. And now every unit, basically every national committee is functioning at a high caliber. And we're going to get to see it with the units, which will be really cool when in 3 to 5 years, when we have this big union, like we're close to 5,000 members now. We could be up to 10 by that. We doubled or tripled in the last just couple of years. So as we
Yep.
keep bringing on contractors and we keep moving across the country, you'll see a really cool union. And it won't just be based in Ontario, it'll be based across the whole country.
Yeah, we are actually digging our feet into so many new provinces. Like we're in BC. We are one of the few
Yeah,
unions that broke into Quebec. That's outstanding.
it's kind of
Outstanding.
funny because like we run a Facebook page, and the members that are going out to these jobs, like that are actually Quebec people, they're putting on our social, because you have to, if you want to be a part of the National Social Committee Facebook page, you have to let us know whether you're a member or you're a spouse of a member. And it's like, I'm a part of the contract with Quebec.
Yeah.
So we'll have to do some work around that to let them know that yes, you live in Quebec and you're a part of Quebec, but you're also a part of CUSW.
Yeah,
You'll
you
become
are.
part of the family.
Exactly. Our community is growing.
Yes.
Yeah. We've been having a great conversation so far, Pauline. I really appreciate your candor and your effort, especially with everything you do within the CUSW. As far as what we've talked about, what you've done, what you do with CUSW, is there anything within our organization where you could see that we can make improvements? Because obviously, nothing's perfect. There isn't like a perfectly run machine. Where do you see where we can make improvements, maybe individually or even collectively?
Collectively, we're already working on it, in my opinion. I think I've been harping on everybody for the last couple of years that we need better communication, and we're getting there. We're actually breaking barriers. But where I see that we could all, as a whole union, not just the unit and the committees, everybody individually, take 5 minutes out of your day or 5 minutes out of your week to participate in something CUSW related. And you'll understand that, as everybody says, the Kool-Aid I have drank, you'll understand why I'm so proud to be a part of this and why I do as much as I do. It's not because I'm a person that is either 100% in or 0% out. It's my legacy, right? I want, if I died tomorrow, did I do enough to make my kids, my mom, my husband, myself proud of what I've done in this world? And that is one of the things that I live by is, did I make myself proud? Did I do a good job? And I think personally, yes, I have a lot on my plate, but I manage and I love it all. I couldn't, if you asked me to drop something today, I'd be like, I don't know which one, because once I jumped in, I loved it all. So,
Right. Yeah, you mentioned the CUSW Kool-Aid. Give me another shot of that stuff. It's good.
yeah. And like you see the purpose with it. It's not like other organizations I've been a part of where it's like, this is the goalpost and this is where we need to go. Our goalpost is always evolving versus on where our vision goes, right? Like this vision was with a small group of people 26 years ago. And I don't think those individuals would think that we've made it this big, right? Like they started out with a couple collective agreements and now we're over 80 and we're up to 5,000 members. Like those are huge milestones that they were probably envisioning, and we're making it happen. Not just
Yeah.
myself, but everybody doing it.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. It's really neat hearing the old war stories from the original founding members, like the John Wobbs,
Joe
Joe
Mulhall, Billy
Mulhalls,
Gilroy.
and the Tom McLeans and everybody. They did this out of necessity.
Yes.
And now that it's established and it's here, it's still obviously necessity, but we're bigger than that now. We're seeing all the things that we can contribute to our community and how we can build our membership from within rather than trying to find more members to build us. Like, we're looking from within now, and we're really concentrating on what we have grown.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. What about your future with CUSW? Is there anything in the near future, the far future, that you're really looking forward to?
Well, I'm going to keep enjoying my mat leave till October. And then I know I'm going back to work and I can be back at full force doing all my duties, as I call them, while being on mat leave. Yes, I have a small family, like I've alluded to before, but I've taken the year to be with my family. But I'm excited to jump back in and be able to get it back into doing the events and the community outreach and doing all the social events. And all my counterparts, the teams I've been a part of, have really stepped up so I could be able to take a step back. But I'm very excited to get back in, like feet first, ready to go. And even though I have a young family, it's not going to stop me from drinking the Kool-Aid, as everybody says, or participating as I do, because I see the vision and I want to make the vision happen.
Well, honestly, I talk to you at least once a week, it seems, with our CUSW business. We have our meetings together, this and that. And for you to tell me that you're on mat leave right now, I don't even understand it. It's just like she's still working 40 hours a week on the computer and she's not even at work. So people need to recognize the value that you bring to CUSW and the effort that you put into it and into us, because that's what we are. We are CUSW.
Yes. As much as we all joke and we all say CUSW, it's definitely not CUSW. It's CUSW. There's a purpose behind that acronym, and we shouldn't be cutting our acronym in half just to save a couple syllables. You might as well say it fully, right?
Yeah,
Embody
exactly.
it. I figured we could address that so then everybody can start calling us by our real name.
Well, Pauline, we've been having a great conversation today. And as usual, it's always a delight to talk to you. Is there anything else you'd like to share with the audience at home? And, it doesn't even need to be CUSW related or job related. It could be something as simple as drink more water and exercise. Anything you'd like to share with the members at home?
Sure. The last thing I'll leave you with is something I've lived by since I was a kid, is never pass a fault. So if there's a piece of garbage on the ground, pick it up, put it away. If you see something, as much as everybody says, see something, say something, really do, because you could be helping a family make sure that their loved one comes home at night. Or you could be making sure that somebody's not getting hurt at the playground by saying, hey, you shouldn't be doing that. And always wear your heart on your sleeve. As much as people say emotions cloud judgment, which they do, but your gut and your heart will tell you more than what your brain could ever think of.
Oh, that's nice. I like that. I really like that. And it is so true. Like, how many times do you have that spidey sense going on in your mind where it's like, this just doesn't feel right. I don't know why, but I better listen to it.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I thank you for listening to me. We all appreciate you for sharing everything. Seriously. Thanks, Pauline.
You're welcome.
I think that's a wrap, everybody. For the viewers at home, if anybody would like to get in touch with Pauline or myself, refer to the show description. You can find all of our information there. Maybe you have some show ideas. Maybe, like Pauline, you'd like to be a guest on the show. We'd love to have you. Reach out to us. We'll talk. We also have the Health, Safety, and Wellness Conference coming up October 3rd and 4th. And the theme of the conference is Living on the Level. After the Safety and Wellness Conference, same day on the Saturday night, the National Social Committee is also hosting Halloween dance. And the theme is a fantastic costume party. Get your costumes on and join us. We all look forward to having you there. Until we meet again, keep that CUSW spotlight shining. And thanks again, Pauline. Your contribution has been great. Thank you.
Thank you.
thank you for shining bright in the CUSW spotlight. Let's get inspired and shine a spotlight on the CUSW.